The Marape-Basil Government, having respect for the sanctity of contracts, accepted the responsibility to prepare and to bring through the NEC and into this Parliament for the passage of all the necessary amendments to all the affected legislations. And the National Executive Council and the Parliament graciously gave all that support that was necessary. Those bills were passed and they became law. As a result, Mr. Speaker, they paved the way for the developer to move the project, the Papua LNG project, into the development phase, starting with pre-FEED, which is the stage we are in now. In June and July, Mr. Deputy Speaker, the project will move into the FEED stage, which will take about 12 months, which is when all the designs for the project will be settled. And by the middle of 2023, the project will move into construction. So that project is now on track and making pretty good progress at the moment. Now, the Marape-Basil government also had the privilege and the opportunity to negotiate its own project agreement, which is now referred to as the Piniang LNG project. And the series of bills we have here are also in connection with that particular project. And like the Papua project, the project agreement that we have signed also necessitates the passage of various amendments to existing legislations on the floor of Parliament, and this is exactly what the Prime Minister is doing now. The only point that I want to emphasize is that this bill will not lead to the erosion of the total benefits package that the state is contracted to take under the project. That remains completely unaffected. These bills are entirely facilitative in nature and will allow the project to move to the next stage after the project developers, or when the bills are passed and the project developers are ready. And the additional point I should make is that in this Piniang agreement, under the leadership of the Prime Minister himself, we've been able to achieve the highest total benefits package payable to the state at 65%. In fact, Mr. Deputy Speaker, there was a point in time after 6 months of rigorous and vigorous negotiations, the state negotiating team suspended the negotiations because the offer on the table was far less than the 65% that the state was asking for. And we were prepared to suspend negotiations for 6 months. 6 months. And in total, the negotiations, including the 6 months of suspended period, took 23 months to finally conclude an agreement. So you might say that has been one of the longest negotiated agreements, but in the final analysis, Mr. Speaker, and fortunately for this nation, we have been able to achieve a very, very high level of benefits package for this country. So with that in mind, Mr. Speaker, I commend all the bills now presented by the Speaker, by the Prime Minister to this Parliament, Deputy Speaker. Thank you very much.